I appreciate that, guys. Okay. Hey, so 2.6. Equations with variables on each side. We talked about that. To solve equations with variables on each side, we're first just going to start by rewriting the equation so all the variables are on one side, okay? And our task is still the same. Solve each equation, and we can check our solution, okay, to make sure it works. And we're going to practice on a couple of them. We're going to realize, okay, we might not need to check every time, but it still could be a good habit to get into to make sure you're getting it correct, okay? So if we look at this equation, 8 plus 5s is equal to 7s minus 2. So hey, see how one variable is on the left side of the equation and the other's on the right side? So that's what we're talking about, variables on both sides, versus earlier when these s's would be together. So it says we're going to rewrite it so all the variables are on one side. Now here's what I would do, okay? Is how would we, if we were to try and move this 5s, how would we move this 5s? Subtract, right? If we're going to move this 7s, how would we move this? Subtract it, right? Okay, so either way we're going to be subtracting a variable, right? We're either going to be subtracting 5s or subtracting 7s to move it to be with the other s, okay? Please select that. To move it to be with the other s. So we're going to be subtracting it one way or the other. Now, would we rather subtract by 5 or subtract by 7? 5, okay, why? It's smaller, it might make life feel a little easier, okay? And think about it this way. 5 and 7, those are going to combine together, right? Because those are our s's, okay? Those are our s's, kind of hard to say our, okay? S's, our variables. And so we're going to combine together. So we're either going to do 5 minus 7, or we're going to do 7 minus 5, one or the other, okay? Now, I would typically move the 5. You can do either way and it works out. Let's move this 5s. So we're going to subtract 5s from both sides there. Okay, so let's go ahead and write that step in with me. Start subtracting 5s from both sides. Dylan, you don't have this notes either. Okay, I'll give you the note for today.
But when I get home, I'm just going to go on YouTube and get the
Well, if you want, you can just take them with us. Let's say take them with us today, and then you can just copy them over. Okay. Thank you. All right. So if we subtract by 5s on the left side, 8 is still 8. It's unaffected. What's 5s minus itself? 0. That's why we did that. Okay, equal sign. 7s minus 5s. 2s. And minus 2 is still business as normal, okay? Could we have subtracted that 5s from that 2?
No.
No, why not?
Because it's too big.
Nope.
Oh.
Could we subtract this 5s from this negative 2?
No.
Why not?
It's not like terms.
It's like terms.
And plus the rings down in Africa.
And plus the rings down Africa.
Thank you. Appreciate that, okay? So now, 8 is equal to 2s minus 2. Does this look a lot like equations we've had before now?
Yes.
I think so. What would we do from here?
Add 2 to both sides.
Add 2 to both sides. Get the 2 away from our s. Okay? So we first got all the variables together. Now we're getting all the constants together. That's what we call numbers without variables. Constants. What's 8 plus 2? 10 equals 2s. And what's negative 2 plus 2? 0. That's why we did that. 0 now. So now what's our last step to do here?
Divide 2.
Divide by 2, right?
That's an S.
What's 10 divided by 2? 5 is now equal to s. I probably should. Oh, shoot. So,
Does anyone have 18 ones?
move.
I would.
Not the time to discuss. Okay? Hey, check our solution. How do we check our solution?
You plug in the 5 for S.
Plug in the 5 for s. Which s?
Both.
Both? That was a trick question, okay? 8 plus 5 times 5 equals 7 times 5 minus 2. We gotta make sure our math is good, okay? What's 5 times 5?
25.
25. We solve that 8 plus it.
Equals.
What's 7 times 5?
35.
35
Good
minus
job.
2. That was a really bad 3.
That looked like Matthew's.
What is 8 plus 25?
8 plus 25 is 33. 2.
What's 35 minus 2?
33.
Does 33 equal 33?
I think so.
Heck yeah, check out, it worked! Woo!
That's why.
Hi. Okay,
Kind of.
question on the first one.
Well, can we do the second one?
Let's approach the second one first. 3w plus 2 equals 7w. Do we still have variables on both sides?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Subtract 3.
So we can subtract one from the other, okay? Think about which one we'd rather do, okay? And thinking that we want to get w's by themselves eventually away from the numbers, okay? Go ahead and begin number 2. When you're done or have questions, raise that hand. When you're done or have questions, raise that hand.
Hold. This doesn't make sense.
I mean,
I think
Oh, no, you're wrong.
shut up, Alexa, calm down.
What? Okay, whoa.
That was
Those are
weird.
stop there.
That was weird. No.
Guys, we got way too loud, way too quickly there. Okay? Sorry. It's already loud, sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't
All right.
myself.
Yeah.
Divide by.
Oh,
Yeah.
I actually do that.
Oh. Yeah.
What, you said it was wrong.
Well, it's not wrong because that was your
What's right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if it's like this, then this is like not.
Victoria, come here.
Yeah, 'cause we end up dividing them away. Which is
Yeah,
why we
it's
do that.
impossible.
Yeah.
So confused.
I said confused. Sorry.
Oh.
Divide by 4. Okay, that's like just did So simplify.
Hey, check these out.
Whoa.
No, it's just simplify this. Simplify
I did.
2 fourths. No, you divide by 4. See, it's like, no, you should divide. No, you're not. Wow. That's not the answer. I am finished. Divide by 4 on each side.
Alright. Bring your attention back up here. Okay, you two can continue working, but bring our attention back up here as well. Okay? 3w plus 2 is equal to 7w. I saw most of us ended up moving which w across?
The 3W.
3w, okay? So 2 is equal to 4w. Okay, now we divide by 4.
I found my pencil.
2 divided by 4 becomes 1 over what? 1 over 2, 1 half. If you want to write that as 0.5, that's okay. So 4w divided by 4, those 4's divide out, we're left with w. 1 half is equal to w, and that is our answer. Okay? Let me show you something we could have done if you wanted. Okay? Don't write this part down. 3w plus 2 is equal to 7w. If you wanted to move the 7w across, you could have by subtracting it. You'd get negative 4w plus 2 equals 0. So then you'd have to subtract 2.
You mean W? That looks like a lot more work.
No, 0.
Oh, I
Because 0 times w is just 0. Okay? Okay? Then you're at negative 4w is equal to negative 2, divided by negative 4, dividing by negative 4, and w is equal to negative by negative, so positive 1 over 2. So did you get the same answer?
Yes.
Yeah, I would argue that this is an extra step, because it is, okay? Because after we moved the w's, we also had to move the 2 again. Here, you move the w's, you divide it. 2 steps, we were done. Here, this was 3 steps, okay? Both are correct still, but they're just different over the steps. Questions on that? Okay, on number 3, 1 half s plus 1 equals 1/4 s minus 6, okay? We're going to have to move some of the s's, right? Okay? We asked ourselves, we usually want to move, if we're going to, okay, so let me back a second. How would we move this 1 half s across?
Make it 2 fourths and put 1/4.
Okay, so we have to make it into the fourths, right? Because we know we're going to have to combine it. So how do we make it into fourths? Multiply by 2 over 2, okay? And Ray already said 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, knowing it had to be 2/4 s plus 1 equals 1/4 s minus 6. Okay, so let's get common denominators first. I see a lot of us have not written that back down. Written that down yet. Let's go ahead and check back in. Okay, and let's write that down, please.
Okay.
Now, how would we move this 2/4 s across if we move that one? subtract, okay? How do we move the 1/4 s across? We subtract. Subtract, yeah, okay. So which one would we rather move? The 1/4 one, okay? We want to move the smaller one in this case because we still end up with a positive number. So we generally like to work with positive numbers, okay? So we subtract 1/4 s from both sides. Now that we have common denominators, what's 2/4 divided, or excuse me, 2/4 minus 1/4? 1/4. S is 2 minus 1 is 1. Plus 1 is equal to 1/4 s minus itself is 0. Negative 6. So what do we do now? Subtract 1 on both sides. 1/4 s is equal to what number? Negative 7. Negative becoming more negative, same sign, add and keep the sign. Okay. 1/4 s, how do we get rid of that 1/4? Multiply by
1/4.
not by 1/4.
Right.
Okay, let's think about it this way. If we were to multiply by 1/4, let's look at what would happen, guys. Okay? Multiply by 1/4. 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 4 is 16. Did that help?
No.
No, so that's not the right math move. You divide by 1/4, which means we multiply by the reciprocal, okay? You divide by 1/4, meaning it's the same thing as multiplying by 4/1. Okay? And if we do that to the left side, we must also do that to the right side. Move away, please. Listen, okay? Multiply by 4/1 on the right side, okay? So over here, what's this 4 and this 4? What did they do? You didn't use the word cancel, thank you. It'll become 1, and we're left with what on the left side?
S.
Just s. Equals negative 7 times 4/1. We can think this as a negative 7 over 1. What's negative 7 times 4?
Negative 28.
Negative 28. Over 1, so it's just negative
We're
28.
ballers out here.
Yeah, we are. Shot caller. That's cool.
I don't know why I just thought of this, but like, I really want to go see like a play at the theater.
Okay.
I just
Questions
like
on number 3. Okay, was that really any different? No, just fractions which you know how to deal with though, okay? Grouping symbols, okay? Grouping symbols, it's on the bottom of your page still. When solving equations that contain grouping symbols, first use the distributive property to remove grouping symbols, okay? We've done that before. So let's flip the page and let's work on this one, okay? So, 8s minus 10 equals 3 times the quantity of 6 minus 2s. So what's our first thing to do here?
distribute.
First distribute. Does that change the left side at all? No, so we just keep writing it as if it's, because nothing changed, we just keep writing it. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times negative 2s is
Negative 5.
negative
9.
6s. Okay, now, does this look just like one of those first 3 we did? I think so. Go and finish that off, please.
Do we raise our hand?
Yep, when you're done or have questions, I want you to raise your hand. But please don't use that as an excuse to start talking, right?
Oh, wait, oh, crap. And then this should be
Is this right? This is not right. How did I get that?
Michael.
Anybody want to talk to somebody from New York?
Huh?
Zach,
Yeah, let me talk to you.
New York?
start with this one up here, okay? So we can do a couple different things first. Okay, I saw some people moving the 10 across first, some people moving the 6s across first. Either's fine, okay? But I would suggest moving one of the negatives, because then how do you move a negative? You add. And we like adding more than subtracting, okay? So we add 6s to both sides. Is what I'll do first. I like to move the variables first. 8s plus 6s is 14s minus 10 equals 18. Now we add the 10 to get that away from the variable. 14s is equal to 28. Divide both sides by 14. And s is now equal to 2. Questions on that first one at all? What's different between the first and the second one here?
There's two sets of parentheses.
There's two sets of parentheses, right? So we're going to distribute on the left side and the right side. Let's walk through this together, okay? Cheyenne, what is 7 times n? 7n. What's 7 times negative 1? Negative 7. Very good, okay? Now let's do the right side, okay? Dalton, what's negative 2 times 3?
Negative 6.
Negative 6. What's negative 2 times n?
Negative 2n.
Negative 2n. Very good, okay? So now that Dalton and Cheyenne helped us with the distributive property, now this looks exactly like what we did earlier, okay? Nectaria, what would you do first? What would be your first math move?
I would add 2 and
Okay, I think it's a good math move, okay? And there's really 4 different right answers you could do here. There's 4 different right answers, okay? You can move any of the things across, and that'd be fine. I would suggest moving that 2n in that way, though, just to get all our variables squared away. 9n minus 7 is equal to negative 6, and that negative 2n, we call it 2n, 0 out, okay? So now from here, I would say there's one really good math move we can do. Chase, what would you do?
Add 7.
Exactly right. I would do that as well. So now we have 9n is equal to negative 6 plus 7. Different signs. We subtract and we get 1. Okay, keep the sign a bigger number, 7. So now, what's our math move to get n by itself, Dylan?
you would have to divide
Very good call. We divide by n, okay? We're in multiplying, so we divide to undo that. N is equal to 1 over 9. Does that simplify? No. You can leave that answer. We're okay with fractions, okay? Question on that one?
Would 2.6 work?
No, 2.6 is not the same thing as 9. Did you still get 1 over 9 though, originally?
I was trying to do it. Like, I was trying to subtract 7 and then negative 2, and I got 2.6. I don't know if I did it.
Let me walk through how you would have done it, Ray, okay? So real quick off the side here, okay? So this is for Ray's benefit. So Ray, you had this 7n minus 7 is equal to negative 6 minus 2n, correct? And then you subtracted 7n. Is that what you had in that step?
No.
Okay. Doesn't make sense why it would be that. Okay, that's what I'm more concerned about. So then we add 6 to both sides, and you have negative 1 is equal to negative 9n dividing by negative 9, and we really end up getting the same thing. Okay, let's go ahead and continue on right below this. Okay, if you don't have any more questions on this one, great question there, Ray. No solutions or identity. Okay, you might have heard this already before. Something being called identity or IMS might be something you've heard at middle school. Raise your hand if you're familiar with IMS.
Oh,
I've heard it.
I've heard it.
Does anyone remember what it stands for? Okay, it stands for infinitely many solutions. Okay, it's also called identity. It's called polynomial numbers. Okay, there's multiple names. Okay, so some equations may have no solution. Some equations may never work out. Okay, a lot of these equations we have one solution. What are you doing?
I'm trying to get a second.
Okay.
But it's not working.
Okay, maybe just wait on that. Okay, some equations may have no solution. This means that there is no value of the variable that will result in a true equation. So it'll never be true no matter what. Other equations are true for all values of the variable. An equation like this is called an identity, okay? It's called an identity if it's always 100% of the time true. Okay. So now we have 2 equations we're asked to solve. 2 equations we're asked to solve. And one will be our one that never works, and one will be the one that always works. Okay, we have to figure out which one's which here. How would we start this problem?
Distribute 8 and 10.
Right? Distribute 8 on the left side and 10 on the right side, okay? 8 times 5c is what, Zach?
8 times 5 is 40.
So we have 40c. Okay, and what's 8 times negative 2? Go, Zach. 8 times negative 2.
Negative 16.
Very good. Okay. Equals. Okay. And then Maddox going to ask you to help. 10 times 32 is 320, right? Our secret with 10 is we just add the 0. Okay. And what's 10 times 4c? 40c, right? Okay. Now here, what would we do?
You would
Go, Levi.
subtract 40c from both sides.
Subtract 40c from both sides, right? Because to move either of these 40c's would we subtract? So it really doesn't matter which. What's 40c minus itself? 0. So we have negative 16 equals 320. And what's 40c minus itself? 0. Negative 16 equals 320.
I
Wait,
think that works.
does negative 16 equal 320?
No.
Not the last time I checked. Okay? If you have negative $16 in your bank account, that's not the same thing as having $320 in your bank account.
Yeah, what makes you sad?
That would be
Yeah,
cool.
what
though.
makes you sad? Okay? That would be cool if it was
Negative.
Okay. But not if you had 320 and the bank said it was the same as you having negative 16. That would be cool.
That would.
It only be cool if you had
So-
more money.
Right? Okay, so when we get an equation like this that gets down to no variables, and we get down to a non-true statement, this is a false statement. We say that there is no solution. We say there's no solution.
I remember doing it.
Me too, and Miss Albury's.
Okay? Yeah, you can call them no and S. I've also seen where you call them NO and then solution shortened down to no sol. Okay? Okay? We're not talking about
No,
not
Kevin.
having souls. Okay, that's not a conversation we're having here.
Kevin's gone.
Okay? Questions on that? Okay, I heard a lot of you saying, I remember this, okay? That's good, okay? On the second one here, okay? What are we going to do? Distributing again, right? Okay? Hannah, what's 4 times t?
14.
Okay, what's 4 times 20? 80, okay? Now here, we're going to take 1/5 times 20t and 1/5 times 400. This might be a little bit difficult to do in our head. 1/5 times 20t, we can do it off to the side. Okay, you think this is a 20 over 1? Does 5 go into 20? How many times?
Are we?
4. So it becomes 4t. Then you do 1/5 and 400, okay? We can also think of this as, this is just 1 over the number as division if you would rather, okay? So you can do like, it's 1/5 times 400 over 1. Well, 5 goes into it because it ends in a 0. It ends in 5 or a 0 goes into it. Well, we might not know how many times. So let's back up a bit. If we cover up a 0, how many times does 5 go into 40?
8.
8. So how many times does 5 go into
80.
400? 80. You just add that 0 back on. What might we notice real quick?
Wait.
4t
It's
plus
the same
8
on both
It's
sides.
the
It's the
same
same
It's
thing.
IMS.
So that means we already know. But if we were to continue on, just for grins and giggles,
Do we have to?
no, but let's continue on. 80 is equal to 80. Is that true? Yeah. Is that always going to be true? Yeah. So no matter what variable you put into here, you can put literally any number in for t, and it will work. Okay? So you guys might know that as IMS, okay? Infinitely many solutions, meaning any number possible work in it. You might also, I've heard it called all real numbers, saying that any number that is a real number will in fact work. Okay? Questions on that at all? No. Gucci.
Gang.
Okay? I'm going to pass on the homework here, and I'm going to talk about I believe I have some don't do's on there. Let me get those two as well. Let me double check. Right? I think only the cool teachers give don't do's.
Yeah. You're the only teacher that gets don't do, by the way.
So, don't tell your other teachers.
And then they'll be cool, and they'll-
Little things that- Well, then they'll say, oh, they don't think I'm cool.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
You gonna tell us
It's like a very
Yeah.
sheet.
I don't like any of the teachers, honestly. They're just calls. Well, like, not that I don't like them, it's just they don't do anything that makes me like them more than just like regularly. Like,
Sure.
I like them, I just like
you.
like them. Like, I wouldn't want to like be around them.
I
It's
think
like
he's my favorite because like most energetic and one of the most.
I like Poppin and Grit too.
Okay. Hey, don't do's. I can hear you guys talk about grading out forever, okay? We're gonna hold Don't do's number 7,
Can you give me my
14, and number 15. Okay? So you can cross those out. 7, 14, and 15. Feel free to cross those out. Yes.
Why do you take out random numbers in our worksheets?
Because I want to be nice to you.
Oh.
If you want to do them, Zach, you can though.
You should take
Will I
them
get
all
extra
out.
credit?